Hello friends, my name is Amit and you are watching the amazing fact list. Fact number 1. The world's oldest known creature, a mollusk, was 507 years old until scientists killed it by mistake. Fact number 2. Mr. Gandhi never won the Nobel Peace Prize despite being nominated 5 times. Fact number 3. In Iran, a law from 2013 allows men to marry their 13 years old adopted daughters. Fact number 4. In 2006, a woman farted on a plane and tried to cover up the smell by lighting matches, causing an emergency landing. Fact number 5. Alexander the Great, Napoleon, Mussolini and Hitler all suffered from ailurophobia, the fear of cats. Fact number 6. A man was jailed and fined $1,500 in Oregon, USA for collecting rainwater because it is considered property of the state. Fact number 7. This hot spring hotel is certified by Guinness World Record as the oldest hotel in the world. It was founded in 705 and has been owned by the same family for 52 generations. Fact number 8. In 2011, a monkey was arrested in Pakistan for crossing the border with India. Fact number 9. Cockroaches appeared 120 million years before dinosaurs. Fact number 10. In 2012, a couple invited Queen Elizabeth II to their wedding as a joke and she turned up. Fact number 11. World plastic production has increased exponentially from 2.1 million tons in 1950 to 147 millions in 1993 to 406 million by 2015. Fact number 12. As of 2015, more than 6.3 billion tons of plastic waste had been generated. Around 9% of that was recycled, 12% was incinerated, and 79% accumulated in landfills or environment. Fact number 13. People can suffer from a psychological disorder called boanthropy that makes them believe that they are a cow. They try to live their life as a cow. Fact number 14. Elephants make friends, bury their dead, travel for funerals, speak to each other, and show extreme intelligence. Fact number 15. Bluetooth technology was named after a 10th century king, King Harald Bluetooth. He united Denmark and Norway, just like the wireless technology united computers and cell phones. Fact number 16. The sound made by the Krakatoa volcanic eruption in 1883 was so loud it reputed the eardrums of people 40 miles away, traveled around the world 4 times, and was clearly heard 3,000 miles away. That's like you standing in the New York and hearing a sound from San Francisco. Fact number 17. The oldest living tree in the world, Methuselah, is 4,851 years old. Fact number 18. Arctic foxes can survive temperature as low as minus 70 degrees Celsius. Fact number 19. A woman once jumped off the 86th floor of the Empire State Building, but the wind pushed her back and she fell on an edge on the 85th floor and she survived. Fact number 20. A neutron star is so dense that a teaspoon of a material from one would weigh around 10 million tons. That's it for all today, friends. Let me know in the comment which fact amazed you the most, and if you like the video then make sure to hit the like button and subscribe the channel. Also hit the bell icon for new video notification. Thank you for watching. God bless you all.